Hello. What the hell was that for?
Caleb being dopey. Okay.
I'm like watching the Cowboys game this week.
Anyway, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. We have to wait till the end of the thing to talk about it because it was the final game this week.
We won't talk about it too much.
Single round from now on, we have a primetime Sunday game.
Brilliant, isn't it?
No, that's dumb.
I know it's stupid. But anyway,
Primetime game.
I guess we can start with the inaugural NRLW Magic Round that occurred, and it was about as dreary as a round can be.
It was a monsoon rainfall.
For some reason, everyone in New South Wales decided to do a rain dance at the same time.
It was just terrible.
It was strange.
Horrible weather.
I think the first game of Magic Round was the first ever draw in NRLW history between the Titans and the Dogs. Obviously, very affected by the conditions.
Yeah.
It was not a great game to watch, but obviously this sort of weather makes the forwards stand out a lot, and that shows here with Georgia Hale playing the full game, 130 metres, 63 tackles with only one miss. She is a machine. Te Karanga Katoa for the Dogs was also really good. 260 metres in the forwards, was very, very strong. 46 tackles with only 2 misses. She was excellent. Really, really good. There seemed to only be 2 teams that the weather didn't affect, which was the Broncos and the Roosters, who are by far and away
they'll be in the grand final. I'm putting it out there right
close, really. It's just
I'm putting it out there. That'll be your grand final, and it could go either way.
Both great. The Roosters get very comfortable win over Tigers. I think it was 30 points or something. Just very, very simple. Jess Surgis and Isabel Kelly combining for 350 metres and 4 tries. The Broncos did win. They beat Cronulla. The Roosters beat the Tigers.
I thought the Roosters played with the Broncos.
No, that was a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, the Roosters were great. Tamika Upton for the Broncos, I think, had her best game of the season so far with a hat trick.
He is a phenomenal player. Yeah,
so good. Shante Kirioratu on the Sharks, I thought was very strong. Just a very solid halfback performance in a team that was fairly convincingly beaten. So that's at least they at least have something
to look at. Yeah,
I expected a bit more from Ellie Johnston, to be honest, especially in the weather that it was in Newcastle. We have a field day, so they. Brisbane honestly held her down fairly well, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Newcastle shut out the Raiders, but that's not anything particularly new because the Raiders are not good. Newcastle, Yasmin Clydesdale, the obvious. She's so good. Olivia Higgins is also playing out of her skin. They're much better for having her back, I think. It's really good.
Yeah.
And the Dragons fall to Parramatta because they didn't have Tegan Berry, and she's the only decent player on that team. Cherrington and Albert were both excellent for Parramatta. They're their 2 best players.
He's one of the best.
Yeah, Albert's so good.
He's one of the better players in the college.
She is excellent.
Yeah.
But on the Dragons, I thought Margot Vella was really good. 200 metres a try, 7 tackle breaks. Really, really strong.
Anytime you break 200 metres, it's good, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get to probably what was the worst game of the Magic Round. Cowboys Warriors.
Yeah, the completion rates were pretty low.
Yeah, see, I was working, so I didn't get a chance to watch this game. So I'll let you guys.
Yeah, look, it was very dour. Any chances? I mean, the Cowboys scored a bit of a freakish try to start with. It was a little bouncing all over the place, and somebody just landed on it. So that was a try. That was the only one they got. For me, the Warriors were very good. Their defense was a lot better than the Cowboys was. And their bench forwards were immense. They just came on and changed the game as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
The Cowboys were dominating until the bench forwards came on.
I looked at the stats, and I think the big difference was Ivana Lauiti.
She's the daughter of a previous dive player who used to play.
Because I looked at the play-by-play of like when she came on the field, and that seemed to be when everything changed.
Yeah.
Because we're down 6-0. She comes on, scores a try, ends up running for over 100 metres and 7 tackle breaks.
She made the Cowboys forwards look like lightweights. She was immense. She was great. So there was I can't remember her name, but another one, similar build, similar running style, just strong. Keep the legs pumping. Her try, Lauti's try, was just she wanted it more than the Cowboys wanted to stop her, and she went through. It was a really good try. Uh, what we can see is obviously rain affects a lot of teams. The Cowboys are not great in the rain, quite obviously. Their handling was not good enough.
Well, yeah, they just didn't play.
For them, Chicago Whitfield played quite well. I
He
thought,
seemed to have a really, really
yeah,
strong game from what I saw.
she was good.
Everything, though.
The young English girl,
Fran Goldthorpe.
Fran Goldthorpe, was also very, very strong.
That's good.
But really, they were out muscled in the end.
I was going to say, looking at the stats, I found something really interesting. So, Breechester and Mackenzie Wheel, are by far and away probably the best forwards on this team right now.
Yeah.
But even so, they should not be having more runs combined than the rest of the forward pack. Like, they took 35 carries in, what amounted to 111 minutes. And the rest of the forwards, including the bench, combined for 34 runs in a combined 240 minutes.
Yeah.
There needs to be more involvement from people that aren't named Breechester and Mackenzie Wheel.
Yeah.
And I think that sheer volume of carries probably contributed to Wheel having 4 errors as well.
Yeah, some of the passes, and look, the conditions were horrendous, right? You need to get the passes around the breadbasket so it's easy to grab, not up around their shoulders and things like that. It's just too hard. And you're going to pass a lot softer as well in those conditions. You can't just be sending bullets because it's going to be harder to catch.
I don't think I'm fully sold on Tallulah Tillett being the halfback.
I don't think Kira did not even there. What's going on?
Question. I think initially she was injured, but Tillett, they just kind of kept winning under Tillett, so she just stayed in. But the attack is nowhere near as good without Kira.
No, we need Kira did back in the side.
However, I do think that you could probably keep Tillett in the team because I don't think Rosie Kelly is anything spectacular at 5'8".
That's what they've done. Dim's the 6.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's just New Zealand are always very spirited when it comes to football. We know this, and I think I said this in the lead up last week that if it just came down to who wanted the game more, the Warriors were going to win, and that's exactly what
I mean, the Warriors look. Like in a Dowler game, the Warriors were the better team, and they deserved their victory. Their 2 tries came from good play, whereas the Cowboys' only try came from a kick that sort of bounced all over the place and was scored. So
yeah, good on the Warriors getting their second win of this season.
Yeah,
they're still not technically only one win outside the top 6.
I'm still pretty happy with how the Cowboys are going. Yes, that was an aberration, but I think back in the dry track, they'll be fine.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine on the dry track.
I guess we will see how that
We are
goes.
playing the Eels next week down at Combine.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes.
It's a winnable game.
All right. Now the men. In a very interesting week, I thought.
It was a weird week.
There's a bit to talk about here. We will start with, obviously, the first game of the round, Thursday night. The Storm beat Parramatta. It wasn't very comfortable, but they got it done.
But here's the deal. Parramatta are going to do that to a lot of teams in the run home. They're going to scare a lot of teams.
How good is Mitch Moses?
Oh.
He makes this team
We
so
were
much better.
discussing, weren't we, earlier, that he may well be the most influential player in the NRL.
Has to be. You see the way they play and what their floor and ceiling is when he's not in the team against when he is in the team. It's night and day. I'm very, very impressed with Mitch Moses. I think a lot of people forget how good he is because he's on
Parramatta, yeah.
But he is so good.
He is,
and we see that when he hits Origin. We see that it's very Tom Dearden.
He does more than that other bloke.
Yeah. It's just look for Melbourne. It's what you expect. They were fairly clinical. They had 54% of the ball. They completed at 84%. They only missed 18 tackles, forced 3 dropouts. Against Parramatta, they only conceded 4 offloads. Yeah, it's just a solid performance from them, which is what we've come to expect.
This is the Parramatta team that beat Brisbane the week before. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's still a good win.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Storm, I mean, Bellamy still won't be happy because he never is, but... they have still things to work on, obviously, and they're still missing Hughes. I mean, let's face it, one of the best halfbacks in the conference out at the moment.
I think this is how they're going to be winning games if Phil Hughes is back and just playing solid percentage football.
And that's
and that'll
work. Other teams would probably learn from that.
Absolutely. I think that's completely correct. Stefano Utuikamana's really kicked on the past few weeks. He seems to really be like actually reaching what his potential was going to be at Melbourne.
It was always I think we were probably putting too much pressure on him to be like the best forward in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think
that was going to take some time.
I think he probably should have acclimated a little bit more quickly.
Maybe
This is the best time of year for him to actually hit his stride. So I'm not going to be complaining.
Yeah, Bunnies obviously worked him out, and he's actually working him properly. And
here he ran 180 meters, had 10 tackle breaks, 30 tackles with only one miss. Great performance.
Yeah.
Really strong.
Is the NRL really being taken over by the islands around Australia? I mean, that's what it seems to be.
Taken over by a bunch of Tigers rejects.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Kind of crazy.
Also, like, this was the first real look we had at Melbourne without, obviously, Jerome Hughes. I thought Cameron Munster was excellent in this game. He was really, really strong.
It was nice to have him back.
Set up 2 tries.
Yeah.
Had his highest kick meter total in his career, from what I can see, with 520 kick meters, forced 2 dropouts.
Well, I guess if he's the main kick option, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hughes would normally be the main kick option.
Yeah, I think it's fair given that Tyron Wishart's long kicking game isn't the best. I thought he was fine in this one. Like, obviously,
he did what he had to do. He did his job, but he's not.
He'll work into it. We know how good a player Tyron Wishart is. We know how good he is. So he'll do fine.
He reminds me a little bit of a Sean Berrigan. He's a bit of a super sub. He can come on and play most of the back line. So and probably 13 if he needed.
Actually, I think he reminds me a bit more of like the Cody Nicarima archetype of like these sort of nippy halves who can also double as hookers.
Yeah. You obviously never saw Sean Berrigan in.
Oh, obviously.
He was built kind of very similarly to Wishart. He could play, like I said, most areas of the back line. He was a super sub.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's
going to take time.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the time he gets used to it, Jerome
Hughes will be back. Hooray. Yeah. They can still make a push for the minor premiership. I'm so excited.
We all push them for that.
I've been more mad to get a prediction right in my entire life. So annoying. Parramatta, we brought up Mitch Moses before. I thought he was quite strong in this one. But it's the fact that when he comes in, everyone else seems to lift.
Yeah. He's a leader.
He is, absolutely.
He leads by example. He lets his footy do it talking. Look, I think sometimes he's a little bit over the top with his histrionics, but he's a very good player.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have anything bad to say about his actual gameplay. It's just the arms thrown up in the air every 5 seconds and whatever. We're always doing the YMCA, So those things I can do without, but he's a very good player.
Absolutely. Max continues to do 21 carries, 180 meters.
He was jumped over the top of by Xavier Coates in this game.
Oh, no. He got jumped over by the best high ball target in the competition. How sad.
I thought he was the best high ball.
They're tied. I need more of those two going at it in Origin. How fun would that be? Just kicks over the
opposite side of the field.
I know, but they shouldn't be. For the sake of fun. It seemed like I feel like Lomax had to put the offload away in this game because obviously the weather and all that. He still made 3 errors, but I'm not going to fault him too much.
This was in Melbourne. I think it was in Melbourne.
No, this was at Combank. Oh, I remember I wrote them backwards accidentally. But no, it was at Combank.
Yeah, well, the weather was really bad this weekend, we know.
Yeah, completing at 68%, while slightly more excusable, is still not great. And especially when you're playing against Melbourne, who will just grind you to pieces. But,
it's back Melbourne, I think.
Yeah, great effort for Parramatta. And like you said before, if I'm in the hunt for the top 8, I don't want to play them.
No.
And with games against the Roosters and Warriors still left on their schedule, they could definitely play spoiler.
They could.
I'm very, very interested.
Most of the Roosters, I think.
It could be the difference between the Warriors making the top 4.
That is also possible.
We'll see how that goes. Speaking of the top 4, and speaking of the Warriors,
this was so close. I felt for them a little bit, actually.
2 weeks after they pulled a daylight robbery against Newcastle, the Warriors had the taste of their own medicine.
Yeah.
Man.
It's sad. Look, I feel for them because obviously without their main playmaker, it's very tricky.
Look, I'm not going to...
This man was very, very influential in this team.
Obviously.
If he's there, the 2 games that they've lost recently, they win, as far as I'm concerned. So
I completely agree with that. They did this weird late reshuffle thing where they put Tane to a peaky in at fullback and they moved Chance, I think, to the centres.
Yeah, I think that was
And
good.
then they pull out to the edge. It was a bit strange.
Charles done his best work at fullback. He needed to stay there.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's
Anyway,
their defense, I didn't think was great in this game. Like they conceded 9 line breaks, they missed upwards of 40
yeah,
tackles,
that's not good enough.
and especially the edge defense has been really poor. Like I don't know what Dallin Watene-Zelezniak is trying to do.
He comes in too far. doesn't he?
He's been, he always is so far,
Yeah, I think
and then
he's
he's pulled on to come
come
in.
away, and then of course he's left 10 meters.
Exactly, he leaves far too much room. I think if you want to try and make the floor, you almost need to drop him. I think for someone who at least has some.
Or fix it up. Get him to fix it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
But just to have a whole day screaming at Dallin, stay on your sideline.
however,
Stay on your sideline.
yeah, unfortunately, his big thing is that his running game is phenomenal. Both the Warriors wingers in this game were excellent. Him and Roger were both. I think Roger got upwards of 300 meters in this game. They combined for over 500.
Roger is getting some of his old form
Yeah.
back.
It's great to see because he's back on the wing now, which
Yeah.
I think is probably his best position.
That little fullback is his best position.
It's
Yeah.
great.
He was definitely fullback while Chance was around. But yeah, no, it's good to see Roger back into his pre-union
Yeah.
Rod,
form.
you got like 48
In the absence of James Fisher-Harris, both I thought Aaron Clark and Jackson Ford stood up really well. They played a few more minutes than they usually do. They combined for some 350 meters. Very, very strong.
So is he suspended or is he
I know he's
injured?
injured, I think, with some lower leg injury. I don't quite remember. But there's because I always write these in like sort of like shortened things because there's a lot of words, and I realized how many acronyms there are in this team. Like there's CNK, you got TMM, you got DWZ, you got RTS, you got JFA. It's just so many.
Yeah, they're, I think, the club that has the most hyphens in it.
Probably they'd be up there, yeah. I'm very, very concerned that Tanner Boyd's not the correct option at halfback.
I don't know who else they've got.
Channel comes back and you just have him and Tamare in the halves? Or do you really like put all your eggs in the Jet Cleary basket? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know whether you're going to hope that Jet is like his brother because, you know,
Unfortunately, I
they're
think
players.
Tanner Boyd's kicking game is still fairly solid, which I
Yeah.
don't think either of the other two halves have.
What's your name, Fred?
So it's all about. It's just he just needs to be better, unfortunately, because they don't really have any other options.
Yeah.
So I don't fully know what the answer for the Warriors is, but I guess we will see if they can pull something out of the hat going forward.
I hope so because, look, they deserve to be there. They worked really, really hard, and unfortunately, an injury could cruel their chances to make the top four. They're
Unfortunately,
going to stay in the top 8, but the top 4
because now they're looking over their shoulder at Cronulla, who are on the same amount of wins as them, and Penrith and Brisbane, who are both only one game. Well, Penrith are half a game behind them. Brisbane are one game behind them. So
this was their opportunity this week. Would have been an opportunity.
it's insane to think that they may end up not having a home final this year, like at all. I don't know.
Although, as we can see, home is getting less and less. Home games are getting less and less. Like I know, fortress games. I mean, it's
I
just.
think that's just because there's so much inconsistency in the NRL now that it just so happens that a lot of the bad games are happening while a team is at home.
Yeah.
It's quite strange. For the Dolphins, I don't know what. I'm so impressed with them in this game. I was so impressed with them. Like they lost, in my opinion, what is the best centre in the NRL after 18 minutes, which is insane because Herbie Farnworth, it's Herbie Farnworth. They had Khalif Kafusi be sin-binned inside the final 10 minutes. They had the minority of possession.
Well, Khalif Kafusi was.
It was a fair thing. I'm not saying it wasn't, but the fact that they managed to hold them out for 7 minutes and score a try of their own in that period.
It kind of shows me what the Wires are with their attack without Metcalf.
I think that. Do we think that Azako try at the end is going to be try of the year? I think it has to be up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Charlie is going to be in the versus Manly game.
I don't think so. I think it'll probably go to the one that Canberra pulled against Cronulla earlier
They
this year.
just tried. I'm just trying
Maybe. I don't know. It was such a great effort from the Dolphins in this game.
It was, but once again, I mean, they themselves, I guess, are a little bit under strength, but they at least have their halves combo working and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Although, I still don't think Nicarima is fully healthy. I think they've kind of had to shoehorn him back in.
Yeah, but he was still able to create stuff. Right?
Yeah, this is true.
He's a very creative
It's
player.
not all about Isaiah Katoa, isn't it? He's so good.
Although he was probably not as strong
I,
as normal.
look, I think the Warriors did well to hold his running game because he only ran for 27 meters in this game, and his average over the year is 109.
Mm.
So they did well with that, but his passing game is so good. His kicking game in this one was excellent. He
He's
just
got a good read of the game.
he has so many facets to his game.
Yeah, he's got a good read.
He was so good. Also, Jeremy Marshall-King. Man, I'm so happy to see him back and healthy. He's such a good.
He's a real linchpin in their team. He made any number of line breaks from.
Oh yeah, he had 2 line breaks. He had scored a try, made 44 tackles. He was great. Kurt Donahue, for some reason, has become an excellent player because he's done this weird split his minutes between lock and hooker thing. 100 meters, 58 tackles. Just really, really strong. I'm happy to see his emergence has really helped this Dolphins forward pack, I think. Because outside him, I don't know who they would put at lock right now. Like, who is there? Do you put Matt Nichols there?
He'd be the only other one, wouldn't he?
There's not much. So, he's hurt. He's gone. He's gone. Tom Gilbert's gone. They're all gone.
Yeah.
You're talking about teams that have injured forward packs. I think they should be the poster child for that, especially for this year. And they're still winning games.
That's because their backline's able to make up for it. Their backline is the quickest in the comp. I don't think it's too much of a...
But I still find it funny that, Henry Farmer played 18 minutes and still had more meters than anybody in the Dolphins forward pack.
Yeah, well, one of his... even the one that he actually pulled up on ran 60 meters.
6 runs for 160 meters. It was a stupid stat line. It was great. But, yeah, also, Jake Averillo, he's been really good. I've brought up Grant Anderson a few times on this show because I think how he's been one of the more important players this year. Averillo's been that for the Dolphins. He's been everywhere in this game.
He's Mr. Consistent, isn't he? I mean, you very rarely get a poor game out of him. And he's sneaky quick.
Oh, he's fast. He's quick, man.
Very, very fast.
He has his acceleration's the big thing. You can see him off the mark. He just goes. Yeah, it's very, very impressive. I really do like
it. Well, let's go. Let's go. Fins up. Yeah, Queen the other club that team I'll actually go for outside the Cowboys.
Okay. You might hate me. You might think I'm insane. The better team lost.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. If the Warriors deserve to win this game, they should have. Yeah, the amount of possession and field position the Warriors had, they should have scored more than 18 points.
Once again, they're missing one of their attacking people, and that's what's the problem.
Yeah. I think that's the problem. But yeah, the Dolphins, I think, might be the most important team on the run home this year because they have games against the Roosters, Broncos, Sea Eagles, and Raiders. That's a lot of teams that are fighting for positions in the top 8.
Yeah, and even if they drop 2 or 3 of those, they're in trouble.
Exactly, especially with the Roosters and Sea Eagles, both teams that are only 1 win behind them.
Yeah.
Those games are so important.
Yeah.
So
the only bonus for them is their points for and against is excellent.
Because they're checkers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I love the Dolphins. I think they're great, except Hammer.
Yeah,
he still sucks. He ran 12 times in this game for 60 meters. That's terrible.
Okay.
There is no... Roger Tuivasa-Sheck ran for 300 meters and he's a winger. And Dallin ran for 200 meters. Herbie ran for 160 meters in 18 minutes. That's not an excuse.
One of them was a line breaker.
You know what else sucks?
The Bunnies.
The Rabbitohs.
Oh, they were pretty bad.
Look, I feel like this game was...
At half time, it was still competitive.
18-8 at half time.
They were 3 tries to 2.
They've run out of They went into this game without an 18th man.
Yeah, that's
and they had 3 separate people at least have some sort of injury happen in this game. And they had to play on because they had nobody else. It was just sad. This was the saddest I've been this year watching a football game. And that's saying something because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yep.
But it was just that second half.
I felt for them. And I'm not a Souths fan, but I actually felt for them with the Broncos just going rank.
Yeah,
on a team from the New South Wales Cup or maybe Jersey Flag or something.
This was a Ron Maxey team.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fault them at all. They still play with a crap ton of effort.
They do.
They just don't have the people. I think their entire starting 13 is hurt right now. Except maybe Jamie Humphries. That might be it. Humphries wasn't even in this game. What was Hart's combo? It was Dodd and Ward. Lewis got an Ashton Ward was the halves combo.
That's right, Aston Ward. He looked like he's about 12. He's built like he's about 12.
I think he has to be the lightest player on the. I think he has
He's
to be.
built very, very
He's a
lean.
speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just this. Well, what do you say about South? There is nothing to say. They're just hurt.
I would say at this point they're favourites for that unwanted
Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with how the Titans are playing now. I think
the Titans.
their only hope is that they can jag a win and hope that Newcastle don't win anything. I think is probably their only hope for avoiding the spoon.
Yeah.
So I guess we will see. I still like Joe Gray. He's great.
Oh, he tried really hard. But unfortunately, he couldn't drag his team.
He couldn't do everything.
No.
They're just
He tried really, really
And
hard.
for Brisbane, it's just what do you say? Like they scored 60 points, which I don't care if you're playing 8-year-olds. 60 points is still a good score, but it's the lack of like resistance they have.
I don't think that is showing where Brisbane are at this point.
No, I don't think so either. But like
The next game may show a little bit more where they're at.
Tulsi Towers scored his. Tulsi Towers.
You're sad.
It's a good reference.
Yeah, well.
It appeals to two separate people.
Never even seen it.
Multi-Towers reference or if it's Philip's Towers reference. It's multifaceted. I'm a nickname genius. There's nothing to say about Brisbane. I mean, Selwyn Cobbo was back and he looked pretty good. I thought he played well. Dean Mariner, I love watching Dean Mariner. He's great.
He always runs at $1 million.
Unfortunately, much to your chagrin, I thought that Ezra Mann was probably the best player on the field for Brisbane.
Yeah. Most people's chagrin. Nobody is very happy with him being on the field.
Well, neither am I, but I'm not just gonna disparage the good performances he has just because I don't like the guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just not much to say.
I mean, look, I'm not a Brisbane fan. Everybody knows that. They were obviously going to win this game. There was never going to be too many doubts about that happening. And it was, unfortunately, very comfortable.
Yeah.
It was played not in the wet.
It boosts their for and against.
Yes, it was played not in the wet because it was in Brisbane.
How convenient is that?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't think the rain would have done anything to be fair.
May have slowed down a few.
Maybe they scored 20 less points.
Yeah, it still would have been a Brisbane win.
Yeah, exactly. Now on to what has quickly become the most controversial game, possibly of the entire season.
I'm very, very cross.
I'm also very
Okay, there's obviously going to be a lot of ranting happening about some of the things that happened in this game. I want to talk about the positives first.
Yes.
Because in my opinion,
Penrith winning is not a positive. Just say it.
That's not what I was going to say.
The better team lost.
That's not what I was going to say. Okay, look.
The better team lost.
I'll start with the Titans. Man, that second half was great.
Yeah.
It just got told at halftime. Look, nobody expects you to do anything. Just go out there and have fun.
That would have been exactly what Des Hasler said, I reckon.
Yeah.
He's coaching for his job. That's the thing. And the other team is responding. And it's great. It's great to see.
Yeah.
The question becomes, where has this been the rest of the year?
I mean, when they went down 24-0, I thought this could be...
I thought it was going to be a repeat of the Broncos game. I really did.
But the Titans, to their credit, fought their guts out, and they just threw the ball around with gay abandon, and it worked.
It was great.
Yeah,
a few standouts. A few standouts in this game. Jaden Campbell. Man, what a game.
That was
good, wasn't it? He was great.
Yeah, and poor Toto, I was wondering if his hamstrings were just going to explode, but they didn't.
Yeah, Jaden Campbell's been great the past
Yeah.
couple of weeks. I look AJ Brimson.
He's in a good vein of form at the moment.
Man, they have such a headache at that fullback position.
When Keanu Kinney comes back.
When Kingy comes back, you have to put Brimson in the halves, right?
Yeah.
But then what do you do with Kieran Foran? Because it seems
He's retiring.
would not this
When is Kinney back?
he was, I think, going to be back this week, but I don't think they've named him, so it's probably next week that he'll be back.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can't four unless you put him on.
But see, Foran coming back from his injury, I think, has correlated fairly well with them actually finding some form.
Leadership is what
Absolutely, I agree.
With Pino out,
And
the leadership.
and he's done an excellent job. I think he's been great. Mo Fotuaika, post-Origin, has been excellent.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think to do that to players. They come out and they suddenly Superman.
Like, he played 65 minutes in this game. He ran nearly 200 meters. had 44 tackles. He ran 200 metres against Penrith
Mm.
as a forward. That's very, very, very impressive.
Yep.
I
like him. I think
I love him.
I rate Mo. Sometimes he can be a bit lazy, but usually he goes pretty well.
Yeah, let's see. Like, obviously, he's got to rock it up.
Yeah.
If the Titans play like this for the rest of the year, do we think they'll roll with Des next year?
I think it's already been said that he's out the door. I think.
But that was before all this is happening.
Mm.
Maybe Dez's message to them is just been, hey, look, I'm gone at the end of the season anyway. Play for your jobs. I don't care.
Mm.
Maybe that's what's happened.
Maybe.
Let's hope not. Because I actually don't mind Des Hasler as a coach. I think he's a good coach. But I think he's just inherited what seems to be a not great gelling roster, especially with all the David Fafita crap. That hasn't helped him at all.
Yeah.
I think they should run with him again next year if they finish the season playing like this.
As long as they don't fall in a screaming heap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Although this week's game may take it out of them a little bit.
Maybe,
the one that they just had.
Maybe it gets a little bit disheartening.
Yeah.
I hope not. Because they nearly beat Penrith. And they should have beat Penrith.
They should have beaten.
Okay, I'll go with what was objectively the incorrect call, which was Philip Sammy should have been given a penalty try
every day of the week.
Watching the live broadcast of this and listening to, I think it was Andrew Voss in commentary when the bunker was reviewing this, saying like, "Oh yeah, he's hit him in the head, obviously it's penalty try." And then immediately as the bunker comes up and Casey Badger over the loudspeaker says, "Play's been cleared up to this point," he loses his marbles. I was so baffled. I had no words for what nearly happened. They nearly didn't even get a penalty out of it.
I was listening to it on the radio, and because I was driving Caitlin to work, and the radio commentators exactly the same. They're all saying, "Oh, it's obviously a penalty try," and then nothing.
And I'll tell you what, the NRL are extremely lucky that the Titans ended up scoring off the ensuing set, because if they didn't, oh boy, there would have been an outroar. There would have been such an uproar. Man.
That would have really probably taken it out of them too.
And then you've got the more subjective one, at least in my opinion.
I don't think it's subjective.
Oh, okay, the fact that it's wrong isn't subjective. What should have been done about it, I've seen varies from person to person.
So the most regular one that I've seen is that they should have got a penalty kick from in front. And I agree to a point. I also we're having this discussion. I also think where he was, where the trainer ran through, take the kick from where he ran through, which was 15 metres closer to the upright.
So if by some miracle you guys have no idea what we're talking about, because it's been the entire age in rugby league media.
That and the Tigers thing, but yeah.
That's right. So Philip Sammy, after being HIA twice, comes back into the game, scores what should have been the game-sealing try with a conversion from Jaden Campbell from the left sideline to put them up by 4 with 5 minutes left, I think it was. Jaden Campbell lining up the kick, like you have Penrith standing on the sideline, all the Titans are getting ready to receive the kick. And then you've got the trainer for the Penrith Panthers running around like, "Look at me, I'm the decoy, quack, quack." And he has to reset his entire thing and ends up missing the kick. There has been a lot of discourse.
Hey guys, it's not the first time a Penrith trainers cheated this year.
I don't think it's this many.
There's been 5 in the past few years that they've identified as situations of the Penrith trainers doing stuff that's untoward or against the spirit of the game.
The thing I thought was quite funny was watching Ivan Cleary in the press conference. What did they see? Oh, crap. You were laughing when it was happening. Secondly, when you were talking, you were doing this. That's an amazing way to tell that you're telling a fib. And then when you said something else, you looked at the ground. Anywhere but where you were talking, mate, you were telling fibs. Just come out and say you gave your trainer that missive to go in front to stuff up this chance of kicking it. You could argue that a good enough kicker would still have got it.
Probably.
That is not the point.
That's not the argument here.
No.
Absolutely not.
It should never have happened. Gordon Tallis, I remember hearing what he said. He said you just kick the ball and hit him in the head. Then they would have had to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But see, I don't think Jaden Campbell thinks that way.
No, absolutely not.
I think he seems like a nice enough bloke.
So,
But the referee on the day should have done something more.
yeah, that's my thing. Is like you can punish them after the game however you want. I think he's got like a 5-match ban.
And $50,000 for Penrith is like a piddle in a puddle. Who cares? Yeah.
I'm sorry, but having an off-field punishment like that for something in such an integral part on field, like while the game is still happening, there needs to be something done in game for it.
This whole thing, and I know you say, oh, Gold Coast got 8 penalties to 2 or whatever, all of which were warranted.
All of which were valid.
Right. But they didn't get ones that they should have got, including like the penalty try and that.
Yeah.
Right. It's just so frustrating to watch because they worked so hard to get themselves in front. They deserve to win.
I completely agree.
The better team lost.
And it should have been.
The better team lost.
It's got nothing to do with me disliking. It could have been the Cowboys. It could have been Brisbane. It could have been, I don't care, Parramatta doing the same thing. I will be saying exactly the same thing. It has nothing to do with it being Penrith.
What? Okay, so obviously we've decided that something should have been done on field. What do you guys think would have been the appropriate reaction for this happening? Because my thought process is I've got 2 different theories. You either give him a second kick for the goal from the same spot, or like you brought up before, you take the kick where the trainer ran in front of him, but you only get the 1 shot. I think it has to be one of those 2, in my opinion.
Well, for 8-point tries, they get a kick from where it came from, and then no, it's not even that anymore. Okay. It used to be the thing with the 8-point try. You say it's a possible 8-point try.
Oh,
now it's a definite 6-point try at least.
Okay,
because even if you miss the one from wherever the guy scored it, you still get a second one from dead in front. So that should have been the case. He missed it because his whole mindset was changed because of this guy. And a lot of people, one of the intellectual cripples that follows Penrith, reckon he wasn't even ready to kick. He was standing 5 meters back from the ball. He was ready to kick.
It's not like he was on his in his setup position lining up the ball. He was like
he was about to move in the air. And then of course he goes like this, and then of course the referee goes, "What the hell are you doing?" and gets in, and then the guys, I'm sorry. Yeah, what a lot of crap.
Yeah.
He was put up to it, and I'm sorry, nobody is that dumb. Nobody is that dumb. Not even Penrith trainers.
Americans.
You know what? Fair enough.
Nobody in Australia is that dumb.
Green supporter.
It's just frustrating.
Well, look at the Nationals. The Nationals.
Yeah.
No, I felt so bad. Look, I felt so bad for the Titans, and they worked so hard.
It was such a good second half, wasn't it? It was.
They deserved that victory. I'm sorry, Penrith. Look, you didn't deserve that point. Yes, your golden point try was great, whatever. The kick for 2 points
Phenomenal.
was great, but it shouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah. I think I'm going to defend Penrith a little bit here. Not on any of the train stuff or any of that garbage, because that's objectively wrong. I think their second half collapse has a lot to do with losing Isaiah Yeo for half of it.
So does that mean he's more important to the team than Nathan Cleary?
In the middle defence, yes, because that is where a lot of the Titans made inroads, was through the middle of the field.
A lot of people were commenting that Cleary did go missing in the second half.
He disappeared in the second half.
Yeah. And that has nothing to do with Yeo not being there. That just happened. That's just happens to be what can sometimes happen to even good players.
Well, I guess the thing becomes you can't, Hearts can only do so much behind a beaten pack. And as soon as Isaiah Yeo goes off, and the ball playing in the middle of the field decreases, their running ability decreases. That is where sometimes Hearts can struggle. But the amount he disappeared, I don't think is scaling properly to how much Isaiah Yeo affects the middle.
The most viral stuff from this is, okay, I've got a rank. I was just thinking of it. I've got a rank. Number 1, the most viral thing was obviously the trainer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Number 2 was the Cleary field goal.
Yeah, that was.
It was good.
Objectively, that's a really, really good play.
Yeah, it was a good field goal, but it's.
I think the pass was better.
Yeah, Mitch Kenning's pass was insane.
He had to pass a 25-meter pass.
Cleary made it was like a last-second decision to jump that far back. He was in formation, and then as the ball is happening, he runs back behind the 40 and Kenny gets the pass out. It was a very, very good
Farrell nearly got there, though. He missed it by that much.
close.
And then number 3 was the Phillips penalty try.
It's just... No, sorry, Gold Coast, you were dudding. That was a dudding. You done proper.
It's probably the most, poorly officiated game.
No, I don't think
Two blatant things that should have been pulled up and weren't.
Yeah, well, the penalty try, that was unbelievable. She was terrible.
That was Casey.
Sorry,
Badger in the bunker.
Yeah, sorry, it was Badger. My apologies, Kate. Unbelievable. You're actually very, very good at what you do.
Bad.
Casey Badger is one of the worst referees we've had ever.
I think that's probably fair.
And it has nothing to do with whether she's a little girl. We've got some pretty ordinary male ones as well.
Liam Cash.
We've had some very ordinary ones.
Yeah. But yeah, Belinda Sharp is actually not bad. She's actually quite a good referee. So.
Do you think Casey Badger's going to be reffing the grand final for this year?
No, she's not.
I think that's
going to happen.
She was confirmed by Andrew Abdo.
No, won't.
I saw it.
You are as bad as every 75-year-old grandparent that falls for everything you see on the internet. Like you brought up that
something on the Raw or whatever they are.
You brought up the bunker thing looking at the Bet 365 last week. That was from a Russian soccer league. You could tell because the text on the actual the broadcast it was from was in Russian. Use your eyes, mate.
Dude, Casey Badger will never referee another game on the ground.
Well, she's been dropped from the bunker, which means she'll be back in 2 weeks when someone else inevitably screws up something.
No, it's the Cowboys and the Knights. She'll be the ref for that. She'll ref for that game.
Look, in terms of individual performances for Penrith, we brought up Nathan Cleary disappearing in the second half. His first half, however, was excellent.
Oh, of course. When you're up 24-0,
something's going right. Yeah. He missed 9 tackles though, which isn't great.
Yeah, some of them are pretty glaring.
Yeah, he was a bit defensively weak, especially in that second half.
Second half,
he kind of put the cue in the rack, as it were. And
it's pretty stupid because any team on any given day can beat any other team.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Isaiah Papali'i having to play extended minutes with Isaiah Yeo out.
One of his better games.
Really strong.
He was very, very good. We've already mentioned Mo, obviously, for the Titans.
Why is Casey McLean good now?
Good why?
I don't get it, but he's suddenly become really, really good.
He's not the feed anymore.
And he's actually figured out how to pass again, which is good for Penrith, I suppose, but it's not good for the rest of us. I think they're going to give Isaiah Yeo a week for his shoulder just as a precautionary thing, which why wouldn't you?
They're playing
Newcastle, I think, which is fair, I guess, but they did beat them earlier this year.
Yeah.
I have to say, the glazing of Nathan Cleary this game was absolutely insane.
This was so bad.
He did one thing in the second half. It was all over news headlines and whatnot.
That first half, it's like if you ever watch an NFL broadcast and you have Chris Collinsworth in the commentary.
The glazing of Patrick Mahomes.
It's exactly the same as the Patrick Mahomes stuff. But yeah, Michael Ennis never touch a commentary microphone ever again. It was so bad.
Never touch a commentary microphone and Nathan Cleary's playing, please. Please.
Look, with this again, he's a good player. But in the second half, he didn't.
You have to really squat. Look, you can praise a player for being great all you want. I have no issue with that. But when they are poor, you can also say that.
Yeah.
It's like Reece Walsh.
Yeah, with all this, with now obviously the Penrith crap is happening again. I think they're probably going to make the 4, whether they deserve it or not. And I hate it.
They don't deserve it.
The fact that I
would make it by one game.
The fact that I would prefer Brisbane to make the top 4 is saying something about how bad this was. It's just not fun. I can't
want either of them to make the top 4.
I can't wait to deal with a prelim final that's Melbourne, Penrith, Brisbane, and Sydney again.
I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, let's move on. We've ranted enough about that one.
Yeah.
So good.
We can move on to from a failed upset to a completed upset where the Dragons beat the Raiders, which was dumb somehow.
This was a bad game.
Once again.
I mean, I was
expected game.
I was right about it being tied at halftime. Just that the Raiders' explosion in the second half that we're used to seeing now just never came.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah, look, their attack was very it wasn't very good in the wet. So obviously the rain can
I wonder
level in the
what
flat a lot.
about their play style doesn't suit the wet because they're not overly expansive, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know what
It was really, really strange.
Yeah, I don't think their attack stood up, and I think the Dragons played above their normal level, which is great for them. After coming off a loss to the Cowboys the week before,
The Dragons,
yeah, they pulled out this performance for their fans. Because it was at home, it was at Wynn Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was at Wynn Stadium.
Yeah. So they pulled it out for their fans, which is great. I like that. What it does is, what this did is it actually opened the door for the Bulldogs to
And
Melbourne to come back into the
minor premiership race.
discussion, you know. So, but yeah, it was a slow one for Canberra. It was kind of odd.
That's completed at
60%. It was very, very odd game from them. I don't know what it was, but hey, it's better that they have that loss now.
Yes, definitely. It's very similar to how I've seen Melbourne for a lot of this year, where a loss like this has been a bit of a time coming for them.
Yeah.
It'll be the kick they need to, I think, but just
I think I'm not too concerned about them. I think they'll be back and we'll have a problem for next week.
It was like maybe Ricky's going to take the wrong message out of this and say, "Oh, when I play Joe Tarpany for more minutes, we lose." He played 67 minutes in this game. To be fair, that was probably affected by Atamadiota being HIA for a bit. But, I mean, that's a lot of minutes. And he was good. Like, he made 49 tackles and ran 130 meters. This is classic Joe Tarpany stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, Jamal Fogarty, I thought was really poor. He kicked 2 dead. He had 5 errors. It's just, it was weird. I don't know why. He just doesn't seem to be a good rain player. I don't know why. And Timoko was good, though.
He
really
could have suited him, right? Because he's just a runner. He doesn't pass. He just And the conditions probably suited him a little bit more than some other players who are more ball players. Because I don't think Ethan Strange was that good.
Yeah. So what we've learned, I think, for a lot of this season is that the good teams don't seem to play in the rain very well, which is lucky that the Dragons are not a good team.
Yeah.
But yeah. Damien Cook was really strong. 44 tackles, no misses in the middle of the field. He's really, really good. They only missed 13 tackles against the Raiders with like Joe Tackney and Corey Horsburgh and Hudson Young and all these guys.
Xavier Savage.
Xavier Savage. Matt Timoko.
I get the name Xavier.
Matt Timoko caused, I think, half the line breaks. It was half the tackle breaks. It was quite strange. David Clemmer has been really strong this year. And also Michael Mullo.
David Clemmer took a little while this year, but I think he has been for the last
They figured out how to use him.
Yeah.
Like, they're playing him for just 50, 55 minutes straight and then taking him off and letting him sit the rest of the game, which is a good role for him. And Michael Mullo playing 80 minutes and, like, not missing a tackle while making 100-ish meters. He's been really strong in the absence of Jaden Sewer.
Yeah.
It's good to see them. It's just good football.
It is.
It was just good football. There's not much else.
Well done, Dragons.
All you can hope is just that Kyle Flanagan is not the halfback next year. I mean, look, they play the Warriors, the Sharks, and Penrith on the run home. They could maybe play spoiler for one of them. Maybe
the Warriors, but
that's about it.
Penrith.
It's just all about next year for them now.
Yeah. They haven't been horrible this year. They just haven't been up to the top 8.
They've been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're just the same team that they were last year.
Yeah.
They're the exact same. Two teams that aren't the same as they were last year. The Sea Eagles and the Roosters, in which the Roosters beat them fairly handily in pretty nondescript game, to be fair. The Roosters
dominated. It was pretty simple. Manly did nothing.
Here's the thing. The Roosters, I didn't think were anything spectacular. Manly were just terrible.
They didn't need to be. This is Robinson knowing how to get his team across lines when it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And, I know you started the year saying, Robinson's going to not be very good because he doesn't have the team he normally has, but he's managed to prove a little bit.
I completely underestimate how good their development clearly is.
It was a really good game. And some of their players coming through, like Nafahu White.
He's so good.
He's come out of nowhere.
He is going to be next year, if he stays healthy, he is going to end up being like a top 5 prop forward in the NRL.
Yeah,
he's so good.
His post contact is immense. His post contact is
He
just
feels like one of the players, like even like the old, I think the old heads of football that love the old style ball be like, yeah, this is a football player.
He's definitely a
He's
football player.
so strong.
Very, very, very good.
Their forward pack, like this game was going to come down to whose forward pack was better because of all the rain and stuff, and the Roosters was just better because Connor Watson, Angus Crichton's really good. Siwa Wong has really, really been good this year. They've got a
Wong, yeah.
Wong, they're back. They're really strong.
Yeah.
Sam Walker is continuing to improve as he comes back from his ACL injury. That's good signs for them for if they do make the 8.
Because they needed him because his goal kicking is excellent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's good for them. They have massive games against the Dolphins and Dogs coming up. That will determine if they make the 8 or not.
Yeah.
Every game for them is important from now on.
And both of those teams will be trying to win as
exactly.
Well. They both have things to play for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Manly should have had something to play for in this game because it was Luke Brooks' 250th. And in very Luke Brooks fashion, it was a giant wet fart.
Sorry, Luke.
At 4 points.
I know. I don't think this year 4 points has been anywhere near the fortress.
Like they only completed 67%, that's 300 less meters, missed 19 more tackles. No one stood up. Like even when Lehigh went off and they shifted Tom Trebojevic back into the fullback role, he was a non-factor. He didn't do anything.
Manly were very poor, unfortunately.
Obviously, like they lost Simpkin, Burbo, and Lehigh at some point in this game to HIAs. Burbo and Simpkin both didn't come back. So they were down to 15 people, which doesn't help. But I don't think they were winning anyway. They were really flattered.
Yeah, they weren't great. And the Roosters did what they needed to do.
Aho is still all right. Like he seems to have been a good buy for them. He's a bit slow in the line, but he's a 30-year-old forward.
He's starting kicking goals now as well.
They might. And Garrick has been terrible.
Awful, yeah.
Yeah, look, the Manly, they run into the Raiders, Dolphins, and Warriors as like marquee matchups on the way home. They need to win a few of those. Yeah. It's now or never for them now.
Yeah, I think Manly out of the teams, they'll be the next one to drop out of possibility.
I think you're probably correct.
Of getting the 8, sorry, not winning. They don't have any possibility.
They're not out of that yet.
No, but they're getting close to being out of it.
Speaking of teams that aren't out of the hunt to the 8 yet, the West Tigers.
Crazily enough, the West Tigers are still in that hunt.
I knew they'd be up for it. I knew they'd be wanting to show Lockie Galvin something, but I didn't think they'd be in the Lockie Galvin Cup.
They won handsomely.
Right.
They were excellent.
They
out enthused the Dogs by some distance.
Yeah.
The Dogs didn't have any answer for them.
They were great. Yeah.
Crichton tried.
For some reason, the Tigers turn into the 60s Dragons whenever it's raining. Like, they've beaten so many teams when it's wet for no apparent reason. Like, they did it to
Penrith last year.
They did it to Penrith a couple of years ago. They did it to, I think, last year. It's just very, very strange. And if they are the 60s Dragons when it rains, what them doing in this game was Reg Gasnier. He was phenomenal. I can't believe that he's been out of this team for so long.
Cowboys need to make a play for him.
Well, where are you going to play him? He played halfback in this game.
Get rid of Jackson Purger.
Yeah,
we won't worry about that right now. We'll talk about it later.
But yeah, they completed it at 80%. That's what carried them through this game, I think. They were just better and more secure with the ball than the Dogs were. Adam Dewey, 6 runs, 167 meters. Just great.
Yeah, a lot of those were big.
To go with a force drop out with 530 kick meters and a try assist, he was everywhere. He was great.
One of these big booted people.
Like Terrell May wasn't spectacular in this game, despite making 40 tackles and running 130 meters. That's a quiet game for him. He didn't offload at all.
He hasn't been big for the last few weeks. I'm wondering if he's
running ragged a little bit,
or he's hiding an injury somewhere, perhaps. 9-1. No, great game, Tigers, mate. You really gave it. I thought for the Dogs, I thought Stephen Crichton tried very, very hard. But there weren't too many other. Bailey Hayward.
Jacob Preston's been good.
Jacob
Preston and Adam Dewey were the only reason I won my fantasy head-to-head this week, and they got me into finals, so that's good. But yeah, I think there was
a bit of a fight nearly that happened. It was between Jackson Ford and.
No, there was one right at the start between Galvin and Luai.
Yeah, that was a bit of a verbal stoush.
It was always going to happen. There was always going to be something involving Luai when it came to Lockie Galvin. It was always going to happen. But it's like.
I thought kick out was quiet. I thought.
Well, I think it came as a function of them not having the ball much because they only completed, I think, 67%.
You notice that seems to be a bit of a theme. The teams that lose completed their 60s.
And this is with Alex Safer getting sin binned in this game as well, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But like they were down to 12 for 10 minutes, and the Dogs couldn't take advantage.
The Dogs were a bit lackluster.
It was a very funny moment, like really like late in the game, where Stephen Crichton makes a line break, and Lockie Galvin is up there in support, and when Crichton passes the ball, Galvin goes, "It was so strange. What he was doing." Can't for the life of me figure out what was going through Galvin's head.
It was going past him to the next person, but it wasn't.
Yeah, look, if the Bulldogs attack is going to look like this with Lockie Galvin, I'm very concerned. I'm very, very concerned.
Although, look, last week they absolutely...
That was Manly.
Yeah. But that was Manly still playing to try and get the 8 as well.
Well, they were doing it this still as well. It's just, I don't know. I think Fraud Watch is on high alert for the Dogs right now.
So they're going to be fine.
Well, this
Raiders, we know is
they could have got within one game of the Raiders at the top of the table.
Yeah.
And
I know, we mentioned that before. They could have, but they didn't.
Would have, should have, didn't. Very Bulldogs. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think about the Dogs. I know the Tigers are going to be a good team next year. I know that. That's all I know about them.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's about it. Tigers are good. The Dogs weren't.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams that weren't good, the North Queensland Cowboys.
So bad.
Well, at least we could stop pretending they can make the 8 now.
Yeah, it's all over now.
It's just must-win game.
That first half was diabolical.
Put up a 68% completion rate. You can see 7 line breaks, missed 40 tackles.
They have to be playing it twice.
And that's just when the players are on the field. The forward rotations in this game boggled me.
It was terrible.
What was this weird rotation that they had with Bittengarn, who, to his credit, in his debut, I thought was quite strong.
He was good, yeah.
I liked him. He was good.
I would
Like they played him for 21 minutes, but like the 30% of that was at a random stint at the end of the game. Caden Lars only played 18 minutes. Jamal Shibasaki for his first game of the year only played 15 minutes. And we played Kyle O'Donnell for 44. Why? Why is Kyle O'Donnell playing so many minutes? Why is Harrison Edwards playing 80 minutes? Why? What possible benefit does that incur?
I guess the one thing about this is it equaled the Cowboys' highest tackle count ever.
Oh, 57.
Yes.
Really? That's the highest?
It is.
I mean, Hodgson hit 60 at some point.
That was Ruben Copper that hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now,
Why?
I know that he's a good defender, but he's not an 80-minute footballer.
Not at all. Especially against Cronulla. When you
Hester got more minutes.
try and make inroads against that forward pack, you don't put out Harrison Edwards. I'm sorry.
No one has everybody, a big guy. You know?
Griffin Neem played 50 minutes. I think that came as a function of him getting hurt, though I think he did his shoulder, which is very unfortunate.
And just being
Also
bad.
Look, in the day before the game, you have Jackson Paulo come in for Jake Clifford, and then you put Persia in the half. That's fine. Jackson Paulo, centre, why not? That's fine. And then the hour before the game,
You decide to put Jackson Paulo at 18th man.
Nanai in centres? What is going through? What kind of brain worm is eating at Todd Payton's stupid bald head? I don't understand it.
They have something to eat at, though.
It's very RFK Jr., isn't it?
It's very hungry.
Why are we playing Kyle O'Donnell for more minutes than Carnes? Why is Jackson Perdue playing? Period. What is going? Why is Ruben Cotter playing on the edge? You have like 5 edge forwards in this team. One of them is not named Rufus Cotter.
He's a middle forward, guys.
Anyone not named Dearden, Hess, Neem, or Bittengarn should be absolutely ashamed of themselves for this performance. Because in a must-win game, you don't do this.
Was actually one of
Drinkwater was horrendous.
It was terrible.
He was so bad.
That first miss that allowed.
What was he doing?
He was
He tried to soccer tackle the guy. I wonder what the plan was there. And it was.
I don't think there was a plan. I hate being military. He's a fool. He's a crap.
Look, it is Tuesday. Todd's still here. I don't know why. Justin Morgan is still here. I have even less idea why.
Because he's arguably the
There
worst
needs to be
defensive
a
coach in the
complete
universe.
overhaul in the off-season of this coaching staff. I don't think the roster is the issue. I really don't think the
I agree. We've got plenty of good players.
will be.
We have
If they-
one marquee at the moment. I think we just need to try.
The roster will become a problem if they don't re-sign some of these guys because they extended Jay Clifford, good. They extend Braden Burns, good. Extend Griffin Neem.
Yes, please.
Because outside him, who are the big forwards? You've got Jason Tamalolo, who plays 30 minutes a week and is injured every month. Cohen Hess, who can't pump out 70 minutes like Griffin Neem can. Harrison Edwards. So unless you're really banking on Caden Lars becoming the next James Tarmo, I don't know what the future of this club's forward pack is. Plus the backs.
I need to go after somebody like Ethan Bullimore or something.
I'd love to. He's extended at Manly already, though.
Right.
There's just like Jamin Jolliffe, I know, has been rumoured to be coming back. No, he's a prop. He's like 6 years older than Griffin Neem, who you can probably keep for cheaper anyway.
Reed Marty is the answer to this team.
Oh man, this team's going to be.
Wouldn't it be funny if Reed Marty suddenly turns into the greatest number 9?
Unless he turns into Robbie Farah, this team is forfeit. Yeah, I don't know. Look, Cronulla didn't need to try hard in this game. They faced next to no resistance.
They still kind of tried hard.
Okay, the start of the second half was something. They
won the second half 12-6.
Yeah.
We will take the little wins.
Look, I thought the first 10 minutes of the second half of the Cowboys was quite good. They actually showed some signs of life. They were fighting in tackles. They looked like they were playing with energy. And then one error happens, and it all dies. Yeah. And that's been the story of the Cowboys the entire year.
Psychologically, they're not there.
They're so weak mentally.
Yeah, they are.
Where's the team from 2022 gone? In 2 years, this team went from one of the most, never say die, always fight, always stay in the game, to drop the ball once and it's over.
Yeah. They cannot defend mistakes. They cannot defend penalties. They cannot
defend anything. They are.
I could stop it. They just can't defend.
They are the worst defensive team in the NRL.
They concede more than 30 points a game.
That's unacceptable.
It is so bad.
It's just terrible.
They're probably lucky that a few teams exist.
Otherwise,
they would be.
We are lucky that the Rabbits' strength and conditioning is terrible. We are lucky that Adam O'Brien is an idiot. We are lucky that the Titans don't like Des Hasler. And we're lucky that Mitch Moses keeps getting injured.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're the only ones behind.
Because, in my opinion, right now on form, the Cowboys are the worst team in football.
I would agree.
By a distance now, with how well the Titans are.
The only team probably somewhere close and Newcastle.
And Newcastle, maybe.
At least Newcastle can defend. Parramatta are better.
Parramatta are better. The Titans are finding better. Seahawks are the only other one, but they have the excuse of literally not having a team.
Attacking powerhouse last year.
What is the Cowboys' excuse? There is no excuse for this team being as bad as it is.
Carl Lawton.
Free Tom Dearden.
Carl Lawton.
Please.
We need him.
He needs to not be here.
No, we need him. He's needs to be something.
Unless they build something around him, he's going to be wasted up here. And it's going to be very, very tragic.
Look, he'll be up on a team of guys who don't care.
Look, Cronulla as a collective were fine. I thought that Aiden Fanua-Blake was good in his second stint. He was good. I thought Christian McCaffrey, far out.
Yeah.
And McInnes.
We were talking about AFL before.
I shortened him to CMC here, and my brain was, it's Christian McCaffrey. He'd suit Southwell, I suppose. I thought Cam McInnes was excellent in this game. Hines and Trindle didn't even really need to do that much. I don't think either of them were anything spectacular. I'm not giving them a
They didn't have to. This is the thing.
Do we have to do in the background?
Could Adam Fanua-Blake up front just doing what Adam Fanua-Blake does,
I still don't think he's been great the past couple months.
Yeah, it didn't have to be on the weekend, to be fair.
No, that's
all
true.
it was be normal.
Look, Cronulla, they're on equal wins with the Warriors. They're in the box seat to push into the top 4. The Cowboys are bad. We need other teams to keep losing. Or actually want them to keep losing because then maybe something will change. Maybe. It's wishful thinking because I know the Cowboys, they fire coaches 2 years too late. We're into the first year of that now. If they don't get rid of Todd, at least in the off-season, they're going to win the spoon next year.
Possible.
I think that will happen.
That's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, on to next week.
Moving on to next week, which has some very, very important games.
Yeah.
We'll start with the women because, they need to bounce back. They're at Combank Stadium. They're against the Eels.
Who are also going pretty average.
This is part of a doubleheader at Combank Stadium on Sunday.
Nice.
Fleur Ginn joins the centres in place of Rory Owen for Parramatta.
Logan.
That's a great name.
Logan.
Flurgan.
Logan.
It's a great name.
Logan.
Fair enough.
Rosemary Beckett returns from injury at 5'8" in place of Cassie Tohi Hiku. Cherrington is also out with a concussion. Tess McWilliams and Tyler Amiatu join the bench. For the Cowboys, Kira Dibb is back.
Yay!
And at 5'8". Tulu Latilit is still the halfback, which
I think working together with Dib will be good.
and I really like this change that they made. So they've changed the rotation a bit. They're now starting Lily Peacock. Lillian Yarrow is coming off the bench. I like forcing Peacock to get more involved because she's a very, very good player.
Excellent.
She played, I think, 39 minutes this weekend and only ran the ball 5 times. Like, that's some Jeremiah Nanai numbers. So, forcing her to play, start and get involved, I think is going to be good for this team. I like Lillian Yarrow coming off the bench. That's fine.
Yarrow has been one of our most consistent.
Second part of the doubleheader.
Yes.
The men's game is first.
Yes.
Yarrow has been one of the better forwards for the Cowboys.
And the other change, Lily Dick comes onto the bench in place of Nevada George, which I also don't mind because I think Nevada George has been less than optimal so far in her games this year.
I think the Cowboys will bounce back.
I hope it's an improved performance. I've tipped them by 6.
Yeah.
I think they win. Let's just throw the other one off as really poor weather conditions and it'll go to a new
Let's
game.
hope
It's
it's
not raining.
better conditions
Yeah.
because it's still New South Wales.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's
hope so.
go, Cowboys. You can do this.
Now the men, starting off with what I think is a the game of the round.
I think it's probably going to be a game of the round. That or one other slightly later on.
Storm and Broncos at Amy Park. For Melbourne, Trent Loiero is back after being rested,
That's actually pretty good.
which is good for them. He's a good player. So Lasati's bench, Bronson Garlick drops out.
Okay, Garlic hasn't done.
For Brisbane, Hugin, Payne Haas is back. That's massive
That's
for them.
yeah.
He had an infection in his leg. So many infections this year.
Bateman had a blood infection.
Bitten by a spider.
Yeah.
There've been so many infections.
Shaking his leg.
Yeah.
It's weird. But he comes back just in time to cover Xavier Wilson's broken forearm, which is
So it was broken.
you could tell. You could tell when it happened. You just wax the shin and go. I can't do it now, obviously, but yes, you could. He
How did that go? New.
turned into a banana. Otherwise, Brisbane are unchanged from the win against Souths. They have not won at Amy Park since 2016. They've lost 8 straight games there. It's not good reading for them. This is a big test for both of them. I think the Storm will probably just be a bit too polished. I am expecting a shootout.
They're also bad because they had to fight hard last week.
Brisbane did.
Brisbane did
They
not.
might come into this game a little bit too easy.
Yeah. I think Melbourne will win simply based on the fact that they are a better team than Brisbane.
I think that's exactly what's going to
I'm
happen.
going to say it's going to go on the golden point.
No, I don't think it will.
I don't think it'll be that close.
I think the Storm win by a try or two.
That's it. I've put them winning by 8. I think there's going to be quite a few points.
I think they're going to win by 1.
Could be.
I think Melbourne are going to win by 1.
Melbourne are going to win, and
Garfield.
It'll be Ken Munster, if anybody.
Brisbane are going to lose, and that's when Brisbane loses, the NRL wins.
Everyone hates Brisbane.
Speaking of losing in the NRL wins, Penrith
Yeah,
going into Newcastle to play Newcastle. Funnily enough,
Come on, nice.
good for Newcastle. Bradman Best is back,
He's a big in.
so Kyle McCarthy drops out of the centres.
Yeah.
Fine.
Bradman Best is a top quality player.
They've done something weird though, because Newcastle, they've been all right in attack the past few weeks, and I thought that was because they had Jackson Hastings in. His kicking game's really good. He's strong, in the legs. He's a good runner. They've dropped him, but Jake Arthur, for some reason, I don't know, man.
It can't be nepotism, I suppose.
Tyson Gamble and Jack Hetherington are also out, so Thomas Cant.
you read that wrong.
I know. I've written it in a specific way, but that's not really what's happened. Thomas Kent and Elijah Salesa, Leo Molana also joined the bench in an interesting swap, I guess. For Penrith, as I mentioned before, resting Isaiah Yeo for the sake of his shoulder. So Isaiah Papali'i starts at lock. Liam Martin starts in the second row. Scott Sorensen returns by the bench just in time to cover the injured Luron Patea. Penrith have won 7 straight at McDonald Jones Stadium. However, they played earlier this year and Newcastle won 25-6, I think. So maybe there's something here.
Look, I'm hoping. Because it would be nice for Penrith to lose after what happened this week.
Yeah, it would be good karmic justice. Yeah. The Jackson Hastings dropping makes no sense to me. I think it'll be close, but Penrith are just going to be able to score more points.
Well, they probably are, but are they going to be able to defend more points? I guess that's the.
They'll be okay. They don't have to.
They got 26 points in against the.
But they had to change their forward pack set up because it was mid-game for us.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I'm hoping for the Knights. I do think Griff will win, but I hope the Knights will actually.
But I'm smelling an upset here. I think the Knights could get up.
I'm smelling an upset. A different game. We will see that one later. The Raiders play the Sea Eagles at GIO Stadium. The Raiders tried out the same 17 that lost to the Dragons, but there's no real rush to change anything. I'm expecting Matty Nicholson to be back in the next couple of weeks, though, because he was really good earlier in the year. For Lee Hawadi did his shoulder, so Tom Trbojevic is playing back at fullback, and Tommy Talau joins the centres, and Aaron Schopp joins the bench.
We've heard that name sometime.
Yeah, right. Ben Trbojevic is out with a head knock, so Michael Cheekan comes into the team as well.
Seems to score tries every time.
He scores weird game-winning tries against Brisbane for some reason.
Yeah.
Manly have a winning record at GIO Stadium. They're 12-8.
But they're going like bastards at the moment. They've lost 2 games by a decent amount in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think you'll have the Raiders up and raring for this one. I've tipped them conservatively by 18. I think they will probably win by more. Yeah. Simply because Canberra's forward pack is so good and Manly's is so bad.
Yes.
This could be very, very ugly.
To be fair, Manly are missing some pretty big forwards as well from injury. Pisstake's out.
But he's been gone the entire year. Who else is there? They're refusing to
play back though, isn't he?
I think they cut Sipley.
Oh, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, he's still out. That's a big loss.
That is a big loss.
That's one that I think is justifiable.
Yeah, so go the Raiders because everybody hates Manly as well.
Okay, the Dragons play Sharks at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. The Dragons put out the same 17 that upset the Raiders. For the Sharks, Toby Rudolph joins the bench for the suspended Jesse Colquhoun in the only change for Cronulla. The Sharks have won their past 5 at Netstrata Jubilee. Look, the the one that took out Rob Durden.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's fair. The Dragons upset the Raiders last week. Cronulla won with relative ease against the Cowboys. This reeks of a trap game. This reeks of a game where Cronulla decide to not assert themselves as a top 4 contender. I'm tipping the Dragons here. This could be a lot of fun to watch.
The Dragons do win. I don't see it personally, especially if the Cronulla forwards can actually get a little bit more.
Well, they're actually playing a half-decent forward pack this week, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, they're not playing.
I don't know. This just feels like a classic Cronulla choke job game. That's what this feels like.
Cronulla are playing Harrison Edwards and Kyron.
Exactly. They're playing David Clemmer and Jack Adela.
Which is a bit better.
And Michael Muller.
Twice as old.
I don't know. I think the Dragons can get up here.
Well, I hope they can, because Cronulla like yourselves.
Well, they need to keep winning to try and keep Penrith out of the top 4. I think you should probably be rooting for them because it's either Cronulla, Brisbane, or Penrith.
I'm still praying for the Warriors to pull themselves together. Yeah.
I don't know. Next game, I think arguably the most important game of this week.
Could end up being the game of the round.
The Finns come up against the Roosters at Suncorp Stadium. Huge, huge matchup. The Dolphins, big out. Herbie Farnworth is out for a month plus with a hamstring issue. With Kavita outside, who joins the centres.
It was going to be a pretty bad hamstring the way he pulled up. Yeah.
It was really, really sad. Mark Nichols starts for the suspended Felice Kafusi. Kulakefa Finifuyaki is back by the bench, which is good for them.
That's good.
The Roosters named the same 17 with Radley and Watson named to start, but they could be late switches, much like they were last week.
Yeah.
The Dolphins have won the only game here, and it was their inaugural match.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's great. The Roosters need to win to stay in touch with the 8. The Dolphins need to win for the possibility of getting a home final. The Herbie injury gives me a bit of pause for tipping the Dolphins because he's so important to that back line and he gains so many meters.
I know they beat the Warriors, but this is the Roosters.
Yeah, exactly. My thought process is the Dolphins' strength the entire season has been their outside backs. Now their most important outside back is out, and I don't think their forward pack has it in them to go up against this Roosters pack. I think the Roosters can get the job done.
Will have a field day at front.
I
run 200 plus.
I think that Angus Crichton's going to go business. This could be one of these games where he scores a hat trick, I reckon. Sam Walker's going to have a lot of fun in the middle of the field.
I do think the Chooks will win this. I think the Finns will fight hard as
they obviously will.
But I think the Chooks have got a little bit too much.
I think they need to hope that Nawangani Talasi has an off game. I think that that's a big thing. And Tedesco have another off game because he's been pretty quiet recently.
He started this year.
He was on fire. His fall off has, I think, almost solidified Isaiah Katoa as the Dally M winner this season. I hope, anyway. He deserves it. Yeah. Roosters by 6, I think.
It's going to be Orange
Healy.
He's actually not been bad.
No. Okay. Another very, very important matchup. Late Saturday game. The Bulldogs come up against the Warriors at Accor Stadium.
This is going to be buzzing. This game's going to be absolutely
This game is going to go insane. So the Bulldogs named the same 17 despite the injury cloud surrounding Lockie Galvin. Toby Sexton is named in the reserves in case he needs to come in. For the Warriors, Channel Harris-Tavita is back. Kamari Martin is benched. Freddie Lussick goes to the 18th man. Dimitri Vaimaunga also returns, which is huge. Jason Harris is named on the extended bench as he's hoping to come back. But Jacob Laban and Wade Egan are both out with long-term injuries, which sucks because I really like Jacob Laban. They've split the last two at Accor. The Wars in those games have a plus 16 margin in their favour, which is good. The Warriors are on a slide, though. Like a really, really bad one. They run into a Dogs team that is still good despite what last week will tell you. They're still a strong outfit. They need a really, really big defensive effort to have a shot, and I just don't think they have it in them right now. I think the Dogs will win.
I guess we will see. I hope the Wars win, just given the fact I want them to keep Penrith out of the top 4.
The Wild.
The Warriors. I hope the Warriors win. That'd be nice.
Warriors.
It helps the Raiders win the minor premiership too, which I don't know.
Yes. Warriors, Raiders, Grand Final.
And then we move on to Sunday, which may possibly be the least relevant Sunday of football in the history of rugby league.
So bad.
We start off with Spoon Bowl come early.
There's 4 teams that cannot make the top 8.
The Titans come up against the Bunnies at Seabus Super Stadium. The Titans, Lofty Khan Pereira comes into the side for the concussed Philip Sammy. Chris Randall is back. Jacob Alec Wienke is benched, and Tom Weaver moves to the 18th man. For the Bunnies, Brendan Smith, Jamie Humphreys, Peter Marmazelis are all named to return. So Ryan Gray, Lewis Dodd, and Tyron Munro all drop off. Latrell Mitchell is named in the reserves, and if he comes in, I hope it's for moving Tallis Duncan to the edge from centre and you play Mitchell at centre. That should be the correct way of doing it.
Yeah, great.
I doubt it will happen, though.
Yeah.
The Titans have lost their last 10 games against the Bunnies at Seabus Super Stadium. It's not good. The only game I think that they've won is the first game they ever played against the Bunnies at Seabus. Past that, it's all been losses because the Titans have been so terrible for so long. A Titans win means they're on 6 wins. And there would be, at present moment, there would be 4 teams on 6 wins. I'm tipping the Titans because why not?
Me too.
Go Spoon Bowl! I hope so. I am by no means, this is going to be a terrible game of football. This is going to be so insanely bad, but it'll be very, very entertaining. Go Titans.
You know what game's not going to be entertaining?
Parramatta the Cowboys.
So bad.
I apologize for this. You have to wait all week. You have so many fun games, and then you have to wait all week to watch the Parramatta Eels play the North Queensland Cowboys in the year of our Lord 2025. Okay, so there's a few roster changes, though. So for Parramatta, Kelma Tuolangi is back via the bench.
No.
Jordan Samarani moves into Sean Russell's place at centre. Dylan Walker starts at lock. Luca Moretti is benched. So there's a little bit there. For the Cowboys, there's slightly more. Jason Tamalolo, Jake Clifford, Viliami Vailea, and Tom McKaylee are all back. But Rob Derby and Griffin Ian are both out with injury. So what happens now is that Labour goes to the wing. The starting forwards are Harrison Edwards again and Jason Taumalolo. Jake Clifford is at 6. Jackson Purdue is in the centres. Jeremiah Nanai is back playing on the edge.
Thank goodness for that.
Jamal Shibasaki and Caden Lyles are both relegated to the reserves. But some divine intervention, Mittengard has kept his bench spot. He didn't get Temple Kalepo, which is nice. But there is still no sign of McIntyre, McLean, or Muzz, which is not good.
So the Cowboys, look, I know we say they're going badly, but they haven't been helped by injury this year either.
No, I think it's been slightly worse for them
Yeah.
this year than it has been in the past few
Yeah.
years.
If Lukey was healthy, we'd be better.
Who would you play in?
The second row.
For who? Yeah, exactly. It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know what
They've got too many back rowers is the
He's
problem.
not versatile. This is why I think they should have kept Finifuiaki, because at least you can play him in the middle of the field. You can't play Lukey in the middle.
Maybe put
He's very Sean Lane.
Lukey on the bench or something.
Yeah, who do you sub off? Is it Bateman you sub off for it?
Yeah,
But
probably.
unfortunately, their middle forwards are so bad that you need to have almost a full prop bench. It's very, very bad. I'm sorry for what this game is going to be. This is going to be bad, like embarrassingly so. However, this is going to be one of those bad games where defense doesn't exist. There's going to be a lot of points here. Eels win 40-26 is my prediction.
All of it to assume the Cowboys
26 points. I don't know. They've done this thing where it's like, good game, bad game. Like, good attacking game, bad attacking game. It's just weird. Now that Jake Clifford's back, we know how Jake Clifford is when he comes back from not being in the team. He puts together some Wally Lewis-style performance. But unfortunately, the rest of the team is so bad, it's not going to matter.
It's the game of the big boots.
Well, yes, it is, isn't it?
They need to clear the airspace above Combat Stadium.
Yes, we're going to have some meteors
We're
coming
going
down.
to several balls because they end up burning up on re-entry.
Yeah. Okay, they both look.
The Eagles are going to win, and the Cowboys are going to keep dropping down the ladder because they suck.
I'm praying for a Cowboys resurgence in this
I
game.
don't want them to win because the more they win, the less likely it is that things change at the end of the year.
Actually, I prefer
We
that.
can't be hoping that the Cowboys get the spoon.
I don't want them to get the spoon. I want them to finish in the bottom 4.
Well, that's just dumb to want your team to come that low.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to lose their final game of the year because it's
Well, we
Brisbane.
know that.
They might,
Might unfortunately be at that game. That'll be fun to watch.
they might beat Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle cannot win in
They have,
Townsville.
I think they have a 50-50 shot of being the bye.
Maybe. This is true.
I think the Cowboys end up on a total of about 23 points for the year.
So
That means they'll
good.
win 2 or 3 more games. So those are on 17 at the moment?
19.
19.
They're on 19.
So I think they have a possibility of winning 2 more games. Well, that would take them to 25, I suppose. But look, with this game, Cowboys generally play pretty well against Parramatta.
Do we?
When they're in Darwin, I suppose.
But
But
played them.
The Cowboys have not won a game against Parramatta at Combank Stadium. The only team they've been at Combank Stadium was Penrith this year.
One game.
One game.
here's the thing: it's because their stupid grass is about 5 feet long, and when it gets dewy, nobody can stand up on it. It's like an ice skating rink.
Which means Drinkwater's going to have no chance. He's going to be standing in the back and try and move. And it's going to be like he has ice skates on him.
One of the Looney Tunes things where the legs are going, but nothing's actually happening.
That's gonna be, or it's going to end up like, you see those videos of like the yearly cheese rolling contest?
Oh yeah.
It's going to be like that.
Look, Cowboys fans,
I'm
we're sorry that the team has
I'm
done
not apologising for them. They're terrible. We know this. We've been through
I
this.
think a few of the ins at least stem a little bit of the crap, but we'll see what happens.
Look, for as critical as I am of him, I think Tamalolo is going to help. I think.
I think he will too. Look, if nothing else, he brings a little bit of, that aura about him.
I guess it's nothing else.
He's horrifying.
Who is the best forward on the Parramatta team? Junior Barlow, probably, right? Or
Hopper's
Rower.
still there. Dylan Walker is there.
Yeah, but he's a 30. I suppose that's Tamalolo.
Tamalolo's playing prop.
Yeah, well, that's where we should be.
Yeah, their props are Hopgood and Paulo, which, on paper is a pretty good forward rotation.
So what have the Cowboys got? Tamalolo and Harrison Edwards.
Yeah. I just take the Parramatta duo every day of the week and 30 times on Sunday.
Harrison Edwards!
There's no
What are you doing?
You have no forwards!
Maybe put McHale and
McHale start. That would be a pretty good
At least
combo. Tamalolo and
At least
McHale.
Edwards is versatile. McKaylee could get you off to a good start.
Mm.
You're dealing with the 1-2 punch of Tamalolo and McKaylee.
Yeah,
There's people.
I reckon it would, yeah.
I give it.
I'm just hoping Tamalolo is fully fit and that he has a
Damn.
even an average game for Tamalolo. If he runs 110 metres or something, I'd be pretty
I'd love him playing 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And checking out. Yeah, 130, 140.
Yeah, if he
He'd be perfect.
and making like 25 tackles.
Hopefully missing less than 5.
Yeah, he normally misses less than 5. It's usually about 3.
I do. Jeremiah Nano is so bad.
He has lost his mojo.
Bench him again. It worked earlier in the
They
year.
didn't bench him, they chucked him down.
Okay, same thing. Drop him.
Because when he came back
If they drop him, they don't have any other second rows, which means we'd have to be stuck with watching Kai O'Donnell, and I don't want to do that either. Because he frustrates me immensely.
He hits hard, he just doesn't stick as well as he
He
should.
doesn't stick. He has no leg drive. His actual effort when he is in contact is not good.
I will play devil's advocate. His second half performance against the Cronulla Sharks was actually not bad. He actually showed a bit of leg drive, which we were missing. And his legs are bigger than they're massive. Why can't he use them?
His legs the size of Pluto and somehow isn't a good forward. I don't know how this happened.
He's got legs like Scott Bolton, but at least Scott Bolton used to know how to use them.
He has really big legs.
Didn't know how to use them.
No, but he also almost scored in the grand final by just keeping the legs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Obviously, we have a turn.
We are wildly off track.
So the Cowboys will lose. They probably will, but
We have a turn.
pray that they win. I'm praying that they win.
The order of the top 8 is going to be so interesting. Because nothing is set in stone yet.
Come on, Wires. We want you to be there.
So,
I think they'll be there. It's a matter of where they are.
We want you to stay in the top 4.
I would
We want Penrith to lose. We want Brisbane to lose.
Please.
And Cronulla to lose, which was you tipped anyway. So
I hope so. I hope I'm right about that. I don't know. The stuff was just weird.
they have good games, the Sharks and the Dragons. They always do. So
That's weird.
yeah, the Dragons.
Anyway, that will do us for this week.
Good luck with your tipping.
Really tired.
I need more than luck.
I need.
My tipping.
I've given up on my tipping. I'm just hoping I win my.
Keeping mirror.
I have so much lack of faith in the Cowboys. Like, I'm in head-to-head finals for fantasy this week. The first person I traded into my team for Herbie Farnworth was Zach Lomax. That's how little faith I have in the Cowboys to do anything against him this game.
Yeah, considering we are actually missing our only person who can actually jump high.
I'm really going to jump so many times over Braden Burst. I'm so scared. Anyway,
At least we felt we had a
decent eyeball target. Yeah, all right. We'll
Okay.
see you all next week.
If you want to, like and subscribe. You don't have to.
I could technically stream the Eels game, not that I particularly want to.
We stream the Sharks game.
Let's stream the Sharks game. I'll think about it.
Maybe get some points.
Maybe. We'll see on Sunday.
We might see you on Sunday, or we'll see you next Tuesday.
We should do a stream where it's like the silent thing where we can't make noise, but it's like,
You need a bigger area, I think, for that to be funny. You need props and stuff, so you can fall over and have a laugh. But yeah, go the Cowboys, please.
please,
Show us something more than you did last.
please, I'm begging you.
Goodbye.
Yeah.